Didn't think I'd be back so soon, did you? Today we're talking about this guy. Anybody who's seriously into backpacks, they always go to the same place, I think, on YouTube first, and that's Chase Reeves. And Chase Reeves recommended this in a super old video. Not super old, but a couple of years ago. And he said it was one of his favorite backpacks. So I stumbled across one here in Korea. This is the Kletterwerks Summit 20-liter Daypack from a company called Kletterwerks. Actually, it's not a company called Kletterwerks. It's a line. These are mystery wrench bags. So if you're not familiar, Mystery Wrench is an American company out of Montana that makes like really hardcore gear for, you know, the army, hunters, firemen, this kind of stuff. And then they had a line maybe 3 or 4 years ago, and I think a little bit further back than that, that basically harkened back to their old, like their roots. Because the founder of the company, Dana Gleason, before Mystery Ranch, and actually before his former company Dana Design, he had a company called Kletterwerks. And this line of Mystery Ranch bags harkens back to those original packs. And honestly, I'm not sure if this is like, I don't know if it's my favorite, if it's like my favorite backpack ever, but it's definitely one of them. So let's get into it. First thing about this bag, the first thing you feel when you get this bag is just the build quality is unreal. It is just like, it's made of 1000D Cordura, and 1000D Cordura is just, you know, like one of the best, you know, just best feeling natural materials you can get. It's made like an old pack. Like the frame sheet is quite soft. It's not particularly like, you know, well balanced. It doesn't feel like, you know, a really modern backpack, and it's not supposed to, obviously. So in this video, we're just gonna talk a little bit about how I use it as a daily pack, and how I feel about it, and then how I modify it slightly to work for photography, since a lot of you guys are here for photography. I should preface by saying this pack is not available anymore. So if you're lucky enough to find one, you know, in some shop that's still selling them, you know, I'm not going to say, you know, what I think yet, but I think you can guess that I would say go for it. I picked this one up from BPL store in here in Korea, and as far as I know, they still have several left. So if you're in Korea and you're interested in this bag, you know, by all means. So let's go over the bag a little bit. So here's you know, it's a basic backpack. It's like kind of a mix of like your old school JanSport sort of vibe. If you're not super into backpacks, that's probably how you'd feel about it when you first got it. It like reminds you of one of those old book bags kind of thing. Here's the logo. So the logo is this embossed leather, which is so nice. It just feels like, you know, it's like real, like cowboy leather. Is there such thing as cowboy leather? I don't know. When I saw this and I felt it, it felt like cowboy leather. My brain was like, that's cowboy leather. There's also some leather here on the zipper pulls, and kind of like in Chase's video, he mentioned that he didn't like these very much, and I think that was because of the sustainability of them. But for me, I'm not sure I like the way they look that much. You know, I don't think the bag needs to be that heirloom, that nostalgic, but they don't bother me, but I don't love them particularly either. I think they're okay. They're okay. The zippers themselves are YKK number 10s, which just means they're quite big. They have the teeth on the outside, so a lot of modern zippers, you'll see like the teeth will actually be on the inside of the zipper, flipped around, which helps with like, you know, weatherproofing them. But in this case, the teeth are all on the outside, and that kind of goes back to the old style of the way they used to sew them in. You know, when this type of bag was really modern. There are flaps, like you can see, like the old way of weatherproofing a bag would be to have these flaps over the zippers, which basically, you know, serve the same sort of function. So I don't worry about it too much. I think it actually looks quite cool. I think the black contrasts really well with the color of the bag. This bag's Coyote, or the color's called Coyote. Maybe it's hard to tell in the video, but it's a kind of like a brown, a sandy brown, I guess you could say. Coyote, I think, for Mystery Ranch is usually their sort of like army vibe style color, but in this particular pack I find it's a bit more brown than that. And I think it looks great in person, much better than the pictures. So yeah, let's move around to the back. So before we go into the pockets, these are the straps. They're a little bit like kind of military looking with all this webbing on it. I will say, like, there's no real hard edge, which I find really nice. They're super spongy. Like, they got that. They feel kind of like you know the shoes you buy and like it says that they're kind of like sponge foam on the bottom, like what are they? Crocs, like Crocs. They have that kind of vibe. It's just really spongy. But it feels good. Like it'll last for a long time. There's like metal hardware all over this bag, like this kind of heirloom style metal hardware. Heirloom style, retro style. I mean, I don't know what you'd call it, but it's quite cool to see. The grab handle here is a little bit kind of floppy. I don't know. I think like that's the one thing about old bags that kind of bothers me slightly is like I kind of want like a nicer handle. Like the newer Mystery Ranch bags, like they have like a quite nice webbed handle, you know, with like maybe double layered web. And in this case it's single layered and I find it a little bit useless. But you know, it's not a really big pack, so no real reason to use it that much. So right now I've got it set up with like my sort of daily life stuff, like what I would carry to. Oh, there's like a hair or something. Yuck. Okay. So what I would set it up to go to work. I'm a teacher by trade, and if I was going to teach a class, which I am going to right after I finish this video, this is basically what I would carry with me for that kind of day. So it's not set up for photography. People who know me as a photographer will probably know like that I'm not the type of photographer that takes photos like every single day and goes out, you know, all the time and, you know, has my camera around my neck all the time. I'm not that guy, so if I don't need my camera, I usually don't have it, or I'll just use my phone. So let's get into the bag a little bit and some of the features that make it cool. The last thing I was going to say is there's this thing. I don't know if you can see that. It's actually apparently made for a pickaxe. I don't have much use for a pickaxe, but what I do use it for is a tripod, and I'd show you, but you're sitting on the tripod, so can't really show you. But you can imagine that actually, like, the way this works is it just undoes. The tripod goes in here, and you can stick the legs in here, and it actually works quite well. I don't use this bag for photography, serious stuff much, and if you know me pretty well, you probably know that I don't carry a tripod around very often. So, but I have tried it, and it does work. I have like Cedu carbon fiber tripod or whatever, and I don't know, it fits fine in here. So not a huge one, but you know, it does the trick. Let's get into the pockets. It's a better angle. I know it's hard to tell. Like, camera feels like it's pointing this way, but I checked before and it was fine. So okay, so let's go into. There's one main front pocket, which I guess would be like the quick access. You know, like usually it's on the top of bags, but you know, in this case, it's right here on the side of the bag, and it's just, again, it's like a big YKK number 10 zip, and like I don't know if I've been influenced by the Chase Reeves videos, but like it's just so satisfying to do that. It feels so nice, you know, a big zipper. Like the first thing I noticed when I got this bag was how nice the big zippers felt. You know, modern bags, they have like number 8s. If you don't know, YKK or any zipper has like, there are different sizes. So there's like a 5, and then an 8, and then a 10. And 10 being basically the largest zipper you'd find on like a jacket or a backpack. And these ones are 10, so these are as large as they get for like a consumer backpack. And like, it just feels so nice to do that. Anyway, let's get into the pocket. So the front pocket goes like this. So basically it opens sideways like that, and it's like, you know, it's a large front pocket, tons of space, and you know, you could probably put like you might be able to put like your tablet in there, I guess, if you didn't care about your tablet getting damaged. Yeah. And then here, there's the thing about this bag that's actually super cool, that makes it makes it interesting is like, okay, so this kind of big pocket is in lots of bags. My Wandered bags both have this, and it's no big deal. But in this case, this pocket has a slip. It's like another pocket within the pocket. I know it's going to be hard to see. Maybe I'll put some B-roll in, but what that does is it separates the pocket into two sections. So like here is kind of a nice slip where, you know, I can put like things like, you know, my wallet. My wallet was supposed to be in there, but it's actually, I just went to the store. I think my wallet's over there. But anyway, I would put my wallet, my AirPods, that kind of thing, and in this upper slip, and then in the bottom slip, you can just put, like, you know, your business's tablet or something. Since you don't care about it, you know. I mean, it could be papers, I guess, but people don't carry papers anymore, do they? As for the main compartment, so the interesting thing about this bag is that, so that's like one kind of, it's not an innovation, but one cool feature is that this pocket is split into two, because normally these pockets are not. Or they have like a organizational panel directly on the back, which has like pen holders and all that kind of stuff. I'm more of like I'm like the type of guy who, when I carry things, because I switch backpacks so often, I usually put everything in some sort of small pouch, and that's where like my pen would live. So my pen doesn't need to live in like some little holder here, because then every time I switch bags I have to take it out. So I've kind of gotten to the point where I like these simple backpacks a lot more. And that organization here, like you could even put like, say, like one pouch here, and then your, you know, your sunglasses, your AirPods, your headphones, or whatever in the top. And it's a big enough pocket. You could put, you know, like big over-the-ear headphones in there, and it'd be fine. Or like your charger. I don't really carry a big computer anymore, so that doesn't matter so much to me. But anyway, let's get into it. Again, chunky, big, fat YKK number 10 zippers here too. The exact same zipper that's on the front, and it just feels so nice to do that. I'm hitting something in here, so. Okay, so let's open it up and see. And it kind of opens up like that. Now, the inside of the bag, we can start by, well, here there's this basically explains the history of what Kletterwerks is. So it's quite nice. I'm not going to read it, but I'll insert something, so if you want to read it, it basically just says Dana Gleason on the bottom and blah blah blah. If you can see here, it says made in the USA, which of course, I mean, that probably contributes to the quality somewhat. These guys know how to make great packs. Under the logo, or under the tag, it says, here's to having a good time all the time, which I like that sentiment. So, there's a laptop sleeve. I don't know if you can see here. So there's a laptop sleeve in the top, and yeah, it velcros down. This is something I haven't heard people mention much, and I think it's because, just in case you want to have like a hydration bladder in here, I don't think I drink nearly enough water, and so therefore I probably never would have a hydration bladder. But basically what happens is this part has two pieces of Velcro, and you can kind of fold it back upon itself, which it's so that you can hang the bladder from here. It gives you like an anchor point. But what I love about it is that I hate these things. I hate these flappy things for the laptop. But then I also hate that usually this scratchy part scratches up the inside of my back, and it drives me crazy. So I fucking love the fact that this folds up upon itself, and then I just leave it tucked up behind there like that. This will take a 15-inch laptop. I tried it with my 15-inch MacBook Pro, and it fit fine. I don't carry that computer around like ever. It's not the newest. It's not the newer models. It's like the one just before the USB-C versions, but I think the size is somewhat similar. So I've never tried it with a 16-inch MacBook Pro, but I've heard that it does fit. So in here, I hold my basically these days I spend most of my time working on an iPad, and this is also from the same brand, Kletterwerks. This is called like the Noble LX, I think, and I think it's a discontinued product, so I was kind of lucky to find it. But it has like a sleeve for a tablet, and then some like small organization for cables and stuff, and I put my iPad in here, and The laptop compartment in here is great, and it's raised up off the bottom, so your laptop's not going to hit or anything like that. But I don't like the fact that when I put my iPad in, it goes so deep into the pocket that it's like hard for me to grab. So I put it in here first. It's not a protection thing, it's more of a convenience thing to grab it out. And I love that this also has a number 10 YKK zip on the top. Just do it for fun. It's awesome. Anyway, so I have the iPad Pro 2020 with the Magic Keyboard. I do most of my stuff on here. I think like 90% of my work and everything happens in here these days. So yeah, that's kind of it. I've got a photo workflow editing video that's coming up soon. So if you guys are interested in that, I know some people have asked me for it. So that will be around soon. But anyway, yeah, there's the iPad Pro. That's basically what fits in the back. One of the things about this bag that makes it so unique is if you look at the inside here, there are these two slip pockets along the edges here. And I think the function is so that this thing doesn't flap over altogether, and then probably to put a water bottle. Mystery Ranch is famous for these pockets on the side, and I guess that it's something related to that, but for me it's like just so useful because like, so in this side I just stick like a battery pack, which is like a Xiaomi PD battery pack. I mostly carry this for my wife, who never has a charger ever and always seems to have a dead phone, so this is like her emergency battery. And then on the other side here I carry my sunglasses. This case is awesome because it folds flat, like origami style. So when the sunglasses are out, it folds flat, and I can just stick it in wherever. So aside from these two side pockets, which are so useful, like if you have pouches or anything like sort of long and narrow, and it doesn't even have to be super narrow, you can just organize your stuff slightly in the inside of the pack, and I find it just such a useful thing. Like, so much more useful than like a pocket here, which I find makes it feel floppy and kind of unwieldy when the pocket is here because it gets heavy and it folds over. But pockets on the side here, they're just great because it also helps the bag to stand up on its own, upright, because it gives it some stabilization. This one kind of does it on its own anyway, but like when you have things loaded in the side here, it really stabilizes it well and keeps it upright. So yeah, more pouches inside. So this is actually an old makeup pouch that my wife let me paint black. It was originally pink. I carry in it this thing, which is kind of like picks up cat hair and picks it up off my clothes, and you just kind of wipe it down with water, and then you're good to go again. So it's much more useful than tape, and I hate that I have to like throw out tape constantly. So I'll tape something, throw it out, and it's basically plastic that I keep continuously throwing out. So this thing is awesome because I've used it for like a year, and I just keep washing it, and it keeps sticking, and it keeps working. And so if you have a dog or a cat, I highly recommend this thing. And then women's deodorant, which yes, I use women's deodorant because I like how it smells. It smells like baby powder. Let's see what else I got. Oh, this is for later. I'll explain. And then so I carry this pouch. It's actually from a Korean company called eGarden, and it's basically like a knockoff Bellroy, I guess. But ironically, it was like the exact same price as the Bellroy that it knocks off. The reason I got this, which is a little bit funny, is that the Bellroy version of this stopped using a YKK zipper. They started using a different type of zipper, and a friend of mine had one, and it broke. The zipper broke, I mean. Like it stopped zipping around the corner when he had it full. So I thought I would try this one, which I guess is sort of a knockoff, and I've used it for a while, and it's been absolutely perfect. And it has a YKK zip that is super smooth and works fine, and has some internal organization inside. Oh, there are my AirPods. But this is basically my iPad kit. So this is what I use when I have my iPad. Everything I need for my iPad is in here. So I've got like the charging cable. I have two AirPods. I have the AirPods Pro, and I have like the little ones. I carry the little ones around with me, and then the AirPods Pro I use when I'm editing video. This is a 65 watt charger with two USB PD outs, and then like a USB, like a normal USB B out, and it's so small, and I think it's from Xiaomi too. Works great. I use this. It's like a SanDisk SSD. I think it's 1 terabyte. It's super fast. Works awesome. I'll put it here. What else I got? So the rest of it's kind of boring. Like I've got some dongles. Like this is like an HDMI dongle that I use for teaching class, so that I can you know, teach on the projector. It's USB-C to HDMI. This one is like an SD card reader to HDMI. And yeah, one more thing is just like a lightning cable and a black one. I know it's nerdy, but I like the black one. That's all that's in that pouch. And this is like my really seriously go-to pouch. It sucks because it's black and it picks up all the cat hair, and I bought it, and you know, I still have those moments where I'll buy something, like I'll buy a bag or a jacket or a shirt, and I'll completely forget that I shouldn't buy a black one, because my natural instinct is to always buy the black one, like this. But I just have, with this one, I've just given it up because it's just so perfectly useful for me that I just don't care anymore. And t-shirt, always nice to have a spare t-shirt. Like I said earlier, the pack itself is 20 liters, and more than enough for a day pack. I mean, like short travel, you could do some short travel with this pack for sure. And yeah, I just wanted to show you this really quickly because it's kind of cool. This is a Mystery Ranch IFAK. It's like a medical thing, I think, and it sounds nerdy, but I usually keep like my Corona, like extra masks, because you know, you never know when you won't have a mask. But I just kind of like how it opens up like this. I know it's weird. So I've just got like some masks, pen, extra cables, that kind of stuff in here. And this is kind of just like my emergency, like it has like tech stuff in it, like some chargers and just stuff that never know when I'm gonna need it, so I just keep it in my bag all the time. This thing, of course, doesn't hurt. That this looks really cool to me, and yeah, so I keep that with me all the time. So this is where I cut while I move all this shit over there. You're still cut. Suffice to say, I absolutely like this. I love this bag, and I think that the main 2 or 3 things that are amazing about it are the inside slip pocket here, and then these 2 pockets here. I think this back panel could be a little bit stiffer. That would be one thing I would, if there was one thing I wish this bag had, would be a stiffer back panel, which I think, like, because they don't make them anymore. The video got cut at this point because I didn't know that my Pentax camera had a 25-minute record limit. Basically all I said was that I wish the bag had a better back panel, and that the camera cube I was talking about in the video was from a Vanguard camera bag. Basically, it's one of those camera cubes that comes for free with, not for free, but it's like part of a camera bag. And I don't know where the bag is, but I took the cube, cut the Velcro off, and then I use it for almost every bag now. And I also said I hated the color. So that's basically it. Nothing else. See you on the flip side. Yeah, back to this. Yeah, it's super useful. And basically it's just got, you know, super simple organization. You can move the things around. And the camera that I normally carry with this bag would be the Rolly. I mean, these days I'm carrying this camera most often. Just like a Rolleiflex T. Such a nice camera. My wife bought it for me. I love it. It's compact considering it's medium format. So I just shove that in there. And camera cubes are the key to making any bag your slave. So it actually fits perfectly in the middle of that sleeve. And that's it. Ready for photography. Simple, right? I will add by saying that my wife liked that bag so much that she ended up getting her own. This is hers in red. This one is like the smaller version, the 15-liter one, and honestly, I wouldn't recommend this one because it doesn't have the slip pocket here, and it also doesn't have the internal pockets here. It still has a 15-inch laptop sleeve, which is great, so if you want something really small and minimal with no pockets at all, then maybe this one is fine, but, you know, my 2 favorite features of the other one is the slip pockets on the side here, and then the other slip pocket here. So the fact that this has neither of those things, I probably wouldn't recommend it. But the color's nice. Would I recommend this bag? Fuck yes. I would 100% recommend this bag. If you're a bag collector or somebody who just loves bags, this is just such a beautiful bag to have. It feels great. It looks good. It's a bit foresty, but then that kind of looks coming back. So, I would get it literally just for these big zippers alone, which just not that common to get a really high quality, nice zipper in a bag this size. That's so big. Unless you pay a lot of money. And these days, like, I've heard that you can get these on clearance if you're super lucky. So, yeah, if you can find one, which I know it's really hard to find them, you can always contact me. I think the guy I got it from still has a couple. But, yeah, I definitely highly recommend it. And this is, the Kletterwerks Summit 20 liter from a photographer's point of view. Even though I only talked about photography for like 30 seconds, but it's a great pack. Enjoy it. And until later, peace. 안녕하세요. 저는 조시입니다. 반갑습니다. 이 가방이는 너무 예뻐요.